What's up, Melonheads, and welcome to episode 7 of Cning.
But Kamikaze, what happened to the first 6 episodes of Cning? Am I missing out on a major life experience?
Well, to put a long story short, no. Basically, what I decided to do is, in a way, rebrand Disorganized Diatribes because A, I thought the name was too long, and B, I kind of wanted to change the content a bit. Like, I like the style, I like the vibe of the show, but I wanted to make it more than just rants. Like, I wanted to talk about different topics. And you know, Cning is just a much catchier name. But now you're thinking, Cning? You can't just pick Cning just because it's a bit catchy. I didn't. Did you know Cning actually stands for children? Never impregnate 9 goats. Just stick with 8. So, the Horrid Henry screenshot series is a series that I have made in the past, but also the future. A dystopian future. I don't know where I'm going with this. So, I watched Horrid Henry when I was quite young, and when I was regularly making the Horrid Henry screenshot episodes, it gave me a chance to revisit some of the old episodes. And in the most part, it was great. I enjoyed watching the episodes. It was fun. But there was just one episode. It was just a bit. I don't know how to describe it.
Wait a minute! If we're out here farting, we can't be inside watching TV!
I don't know what the phrase to describe it would be. What's the word from our lexicon? I've got it! The answer is it's weird. So, I actually couldn't bring myself to watch the whole episode at the time. So what I've decided to do on this Cning is watch the episode and I'm going to describe what's happening as we go along to see if we can make any sense whatsoever of this mess.
Time for the Turbo Slime Booster!
Time for the Mac 10 Race Blaster!
Time for me to pick apart this episode.
I just do what I gotta do.
I just do what I gotta do!
I just try and make good YouTube content. So, the start of the episode's kind of strange, but, you know, nothing too weird. Henry's trying to run over a stuffed animal with a Scalextric's car. Also, notice that the TV and the lights are on. This may be significant later. Oh, and also take note that Peter has his rabbit. This may be significant later also.
On a day like this, you should be outside. Looks a bit chilly to me. Can we put the heating on? But it's the middle of summer.
If you ever lived in England, here in England, we put the heating on 364 days a year. And the one day we don't, it's because we went into a coma induced by the cold before we could put the heating on.
If we stop using so much electricity, we can help save the planet.
So essentially, Mom explains that they use too much electricity, and back in her day, they didn't use as much electricity. Now, of course, Peter, who hates fun, decides to agree, and decides that he will cut down on electricity.
From now on, I'm going to brush my teeth in the dark.
Now, Henry, being reasonable, doesn't say that this is a bad idea. He does agree that it's important to cut down on electricity. However, he does need to clarify one thing.
We'll still have it on for the really important stuff, right? Like the TV and my racetracks.
But Mum's suddenly gone into a complete caveman.
And sorry, Henry, no electricity means no electricity for anything.
I thought what they were agreeing was to be reasonable and cut down on electricity where they could. You know, not leaving lights on or watching a bit less TV. But Mum's going full 2000 BC. The only light is from the candle as I sit and read in the darkness. My 3 children died of polio last night. But anyway, back to Horrid Henry. And as you can see, Henry has a reasonable attitude to realising that he'll never get to watch the Kamikaze YouTube channel on TV ever again.
Oh, no toaster, Henry. It uses 1,500 watts of electricity an hour. The milk's off! Oh, we're not using the fridge anymore. We're saving 683,000 watts a year.
Ugh, fine, Peter. I'll go and watch Cning 7 on TV. What?
Oh, that's so unfair! What am I supposed to do?
So, this is what I was saying before about remembering that the fact that the TV is on is an important detail for later, because now the TV's been boarded up. But the other important detail, do you remember which one that is? It is the fact that Peter has his bunny. Remember that detail for later, okay? It might be important. So, reasonably, knowing that Henry can no longer have toast, must drink sour milk, and cannot watch the Kamikaze channel on TV, worries what he's going to do. And that's where Dad comes in, because since he didn't want to sleep in a separate bed to Mum, he has decided to go along with the idea of no more electricity.
The sooner you get used to our greener lifestyle, the better.
Henry then proceeds to freeze to death.
Oh, the water's freezing! We don't need hot water, Henry. It's really cold. Can't we at least have the heating on?
Life continues to worsen for Henry as he goes to bed at 5 o'clock.
From now on, we're going to go to bed when it gets dark.
What? It's not even 5 o'clock.
Good night, Henry.
Also, a quick thing I noticed in editing is, didn't they say earlier?
But it's the middle of summer.
So, why is it getting this dark at 5 o'clock in the middle of summer? This show's set in England, not Svalbard.
You are the worst parents in the world!
I know, right? Like, why isn't Henry allowed to watch Cning on TV? Don't they know that show's educational? However, after days of misery for our protagonist Henry, things finally look up as he actually has a good time for once, throwing paper aeroplanes. But the fun doesn't last long because they immediately then decide to pack it up because they hate fun.
Now let's take it all down to the recycling centre. I knew it was too good to last.
They then go recycling.
I see you're looking at the Windomatic 5000.
Is it a windmill?
Kind of. It's a wind-powered turbine that makes electricity.
Electricity? So it's good for the environment and everything?
Oh yes, it's a completely green machine.
My body's a green machine. So, Henry realises that a wind turbine is a great way to create sustainable electricity. So he somehow buys one?
Look at that.
This family is so, I guess, strict that they won't even have a toaster. However, they're willing to buy a wind turbine and put it in their garden.
Look at that.
Henry then enjoys paradise, eating toast, playing scale electrics, and watching TV. However, they soon run out of electricity, which I think is probably a good thing because it looked like they were in pain. Yeah, they ran out of wind.
I think you need a lot more wind to power all that.
They need more wind, you say? Well, why didn't you say so? Let's just stand in our garden and fart. Can you believe that a team of serious TV producers scripted this and wrote this into the show and then had animators animate this? This scene goes on for an excruciatingly long amount of time, but I'll spare you your sanity and cut it short. Yeah, as well as making absolutely no sense, this episode is really gross.
Wait a minute. If we're out here farting, we can't be inside watching TV.
Flawless logic. What message does this episode send to kids? Remember, children, always try and protect the environment by buying a wind turbine, putting it in your garden, and farting into it.
It's all
Oh no! Can you believe that farting didn't fix it? I can't.
Brainy Brian to the rescue!
Yeah, Brainy Brian can fart now.
It's simple, really. Wind power meets pedal power.
Of course, they're going to pedal now. To be fair, this idea isn't as awful. Considering the last one was farting.
This is great.
Nice. Life has once again returned to the 21st century.
And what are we going to do when Brian goes home? He's not going to stay out there forever.
So, they can no longer use Brian to pedal because, well, he has to go home. So they're going to further exploit child labour and use their friend Al to pedal.
Thought you might like a go on my special new super modified exercise bike, Al.
Thanks, Henry.
However, Al then gets tired. I think it's time for plan B. Nope, they're going to further use people to pedal. It's Peter's turn.
Come on, Peter. There's a new pedaling rotor.
6.5 hours later.
I can't. Oh, get out of the way, worm.
Stop! You're going too fast.
Henry then proceeds to pedal too fast and somehow cut out the power of everyone in the street.
I can't stop! Uh-oh!
People, if you experienced a power outage at 9 o'clock on Sunday, it was because Henry pedalled too fast. It just wouldn't happen. Well, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this could happen. After all, I do have the mental age of an 11-year-old.
Hi there. Just the person I was looking for. I've heard all about your wind and pedal power green machine and I want to buy it for the recycling centre.
Really?
Of course, I'll need someone to pedal it.
Don't worry, I know just the person.
So now the final twist is that child labour will continue to be exploited because Henry now must pedal at the local recycling place, I guess. It's just such an unsatisfying conclusion. But now you're thinking, but what about the bunny? You told me to remember that. No, I didn't.